Hello friends, good morning, and today we are going to start our next topic of the same chapter. In the previous chapter we have completed some topics from the chapter number 1, and we have discussed about the all type of Indian economy related, ancient Indian economy related all points we have completed before independence. What was our India's economic condition? That topic we have completed. Now today we are discussing about the next topic, which is related to occupation structure and infrastructure. Yesterday we have completed demographic condition. So today we will start the next topic. The next topic is occupational structure. What do you mean by the occupational structure? Occupational structure 1.7 we are going to start this. First I am going to discuss about what do you mean by the occupation. Occupation, that means what? If you have listened this word occupation that means what? Occupation. Have you listened this word? Occupation, that means a person is engaged in which type of economic activity, that is known as for earning income. A person is engaged in which type of economic activity for earning income. That is occupation of this person. For an example, if I am teaching you, that means it is my occupation. I am a teacher, so I am teaching you. Your father is a businessman, so it is his occupation because of his businessman. If your mother is also doing any type of work, she is a doctor, she is an engineer, or she is also a teacher, then what is her occupation? Her occupation is a teacher. Okay. If a person who is doing a physical work, that person is a worker, correct? Or a person who is a employee, a person who is an employee in the industrial sector, then that is an employee only. But if that person is an owner, then we can say that person is an entrepreneur. Okay. So like this type of different occupations. A person who engaged in the agriculture activity, that person is a farmer. Okay. A person who is involved in the communication service, that person provide the communication services related work to all people. So that person has engaged in communication service, like that. So these are actually occupation structure. There's a noise various type of the occupation. I can divide this occupation sector mostly in these three parts. First one is agriculture, second one is industry, and third one is service sector. During the British colonial time period, what was our condition? A large share of workforce which usually remained at a high of 70 to 75%, while the manufacturing and the service sector accounted for only 10 and 15 to 20% respectively. That means what? Mostly people engaged in the agriculture and allied activity. A large share of the workforce has engaged in the agriculture and allied activity before independence. Okay, and there is generally growing regional variation also, because of some reason of India has the favorable favorable environment to establish this all type of textile and all other industries. Do you know in the Madras residency, it present these are known as Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and Karnataka. This and Maharashtra and West Bengal, these are with these have mostly this type of industry which were related to textile and jute. So states, in these states, people's decline in the dependence of the workforce on the agriculture sector with a common rate increase in the manufacturing and services sector. Why? Because of in the Madras Residency, Maharashtra and West Bengal, the textile and jute industries were there. So mostly people who were engaged in the agriculture sector, due to stabilization of these industries, people transferred their occupation from the agriculture sector to manufacturing and services. Okay, and in the share of workforce in the agriculture during the same time in the states such as Orissa, Rajasthan and Punjab. These states mostly, these states population mostly depends on the agriculture sector. Okay. Next one is the infrastructure. Infrastructure under the colonial, that means what? Under the British's time period, when these British's emperor in India, they have started their own policies. That time, basic infrastructure such as railway, ports, water transportation, and post and telegraphs did develop. What do you mean by the infrastructure? Before that, I am going to discuss about some questions. Okay, first I complete this one, then after this both I will discuss with you. What do you mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure, that means what? Infrastructure, that means it's all type of allied activities which are not business, but these all are facilities which help to business, like a trade. These are helping to stabilization of the industry and firm and all other economic activity. So people can easily transfer their goods, they can easily transfer their services, they also transfer and they can get their related things, and this help to the establishment of the industry and sell the ready product and transfer the raw material. This type of facilities are not business, but these are helping to business, so these are included in the infrastructure, like telegraph, electricity, water supply, and road construction, railway, banking. These all are infrastructure. Okay, if these facilities are situated in a particular region, in a particular area, in a particular state, so this all industries and this all firms will be established in that area, particular area only, because these industries and firms will get all type of raw material easily. They can transfer their tools, machines, and this worker also can transfer easily. And whatever commodity they will be prepared, they will be produced, that commodity they can be sell in the other market with the help of the road business, road construction, with the help of the banking, with the help of the all type of infrastructure facility. So it is play an important part to establishment of the infrastructure and business. So during the British colonial time period, mostly services which were established by the Britishers, these are railway, ports, water transport, post and telegraph. They developed. The first railway started from the Mumbai to Thane. You know this already. You have completed this one in 8th or 9th standard also. So this type of various colonial interests, because of they want to sell their product in the India's, in the different regions, in the different area, and they want to supply this raw material to their British country, to the England only. So for that purpose, they want to transfer the labor also, worker also for the work, what type of work which cannot done by the Britishers, low quality work. This only done by the Indian peoples. By pressure, they want to complete this work, and they pressure to the Indian peoples to do this type of work. So they transfer raw material plus this type of worker also they transferred from India to Britain. All type of ready commodity which produced by the England's machines, industries, this commodity they transfer to the from the England to India. And for that purpose, they have a requirement of the postal department, electricity, they have requirement of the communication, telegraph, and this all type of road and railways. And for their purpose only they started this infrastructure facility in India. not for all us. They started for their benefit only. So the roads that were primarily serve the purpose of mobilizing the army within India and drawing out raw materials from the countryside to the nearest railway section state. Okay, nearest railway station or the port to sand this too far away inland or other type of commodities also they want to send from India to other foreign countries. For that purpose, they started this whole type of infrastructure facility. They started such type of infrastructure facility only in the urban area, but they started this type of infrastructure facility in this rural area also. From theirs they can get easily this type of raw materials. They can sell their product in this type of villages in their surrounding area also. They started this facility. The British introduced the railway in India in 1850. You remember this year they introduced railway in India in 1850, and it is considered as one of their most important contributions in our economy. The railways affected the structure of the Indian economy in two important ways. In the one hand, it enabled people to undertake long distance travel and thereby break geographical and cultural barriers, while on the other hand, it it fostered commercialization of Indian agriculture, which adversely affected to comparative self-efficiency of the village economic in India. Okay, so the volume of India's export trade and undoubtedly expanded, but its benefits rarely occur to the Indian people. Rarely occur, really. Only few peoples got its benefit. Rarely occurred to the Indian peoples. Mostly its benefit has given to the and benefited by the Britishers. The social benefits which the Indian people gained owing to the introductions of the railway were thus outweighed by the country's huge economic loss. Really, so many commodities transferred from India to other countries with the help of this railway only. Okay, so heavy commodities also can easily transfer with the help of this. So it has not benefited economically, it has not benefited for all us, but after independence, it has benefited for all us. That means for all India. Next one is this one picture is here. You can see this airlines, Tata Airlines, a division of Tata and Sons, was established in 1932. Okay, which has established in 1932, and it has inaugurating and the aviation sector in India. First time this type of aeroplane has introduced by the Tata Airlines in 1932. And it is the first railway bridge which is given in this picture. First railway bridge linking Bombay with Thane in 1854. First time this railway bridge has constructed by the Britishers. For their benefit, they have started a train and first train run on this bridge on 1854 Bombay to Thane. Okay. Next one is the cost of the government executor. Yet it failed to compete with the railways, which soon traversed the region running parallel to canal and had to be ultimately abandoned. The introduction of the expensive system of electric electric telegram in India similarly serve the purpose of maintaining law and order. The postal services, on the other hand, despite serving useful public purpose, they meant all through inadequate. You will learn more about the present status of the various infrastructure in this chapter number 8. We will discuss about all these things in detail in the chapter number 8. Okay. Now last one is the conclusion and then our chapter will over. In this conclusion, I will say that during the British rule, our India's economic condition has very poor, which has the golden bird that has exploited by the Britishers. They came as a trader in India, but they started their work there, not ruled also they started, and our India um, with all emperor kingdom destroyed by the Britishers and they were become a ruler in our India. Okay, but in 1947 we got the independent and then after this all conditions changed. What type of changes occurred? Now at present we know very well. But during the Britisher colonies, our Indian faced so many economic, social, and cultural problems. And what they started, it's okay. They started their industrial related modernization, diversification, capacity building, and increased public investment, but they were exploited also. This type of industrial revolution they started. But first they started in Britain and only they exploited the expansion and public orientation. This type of infrastructure facilities also they started, but their main intention to increase their own profit only. That has also not in our for benefit. Okay, and they were exploited our Indian colonies and our India's. Due to that reason, now also we are suffering from the poverty and unemployment. Okay, and such policies are required, and these are challenges for the reduce the poverty and unemployment. Some policies, excellent policies are required for this one. Friends, now I'm going to give some questions. I'm going to change the slide, and you, if you want, you can take a screenshot, or if you want, you can write these questions. First one here, chart is here. Features of the occupational structure. First one is predominance of agriculture sector and growing regional variations. Primary source of the occupation. 75% population engaged in the agriculture sector, manufacturing and service sector account for 10 and 15 to 20% respectively. Imbalanced economy, and second side is growing regional variations. Many states witnessed shift from agriculture sector to manufacturing and tertiary sector. Tertiary sector, that means what? Service sector. Then I have some points. If you want, you can get a screenshot. Then after you have to give these answers. These questions are, first one question is, what do you mean by the which of the following is not a characteristic of Indian economy on the eve of independence? Read one by one option. You will get answer. Small and fronted land holdings. Second one, use of outdated and all technology. Commercial farming. Low level of the productivity. Which option is correct? Okay, correct in your notebook, then after you match in the last. Second one question is, during British rule, farmers were forced to grow which commercial crop? Wheat, rice, cotton or indigo? Okay, highlight it. Which answer is correct? You guess, you select that one. In the last of this, I will say this or answer, but first you try for the select the correct option. Who estimated India's per capita income during colonial rule? Dadabhai Naoroji, William R.C. Desai, or all of this above? Which is the correct? Who estimated India's per capita income during colonial rule? Next one is 4. Nearly dash percent of the Indian population was earning a livelihood from the agriculture on the eve of the independence. 85, 95, 75, or 55. Which is the correct? Next one is the 85, 95, 75, or 55. Question number 5th. Farming is one where primary objective of the farmer is to produce for his own family. Consistent, step, substance, or none of the above. Which is the correct? Okay, if you have corrected your answer, match with my answer. First one question's answer is C. Second question answer is D. Third question answer is D. Fourth is C. C, that means what? 75%. Fifth one is C. That means sustain. Okay. We have completed this all. Now next one is what is infrastructure? What do we mean by the infrastructure? It is also an important question. Infrastructure in India. Next one question is what objectives did the British intend to achieve through their policies of infrastructure development in India? You have to complete this answer in your notebook. Next one, second is what were the positive signs in the railways under the British rule? What was the motive of the constructing railway by the British government? Answer also I have written here. If you want, you can get a screenshot and write this answer. Next one question and last one question is discuss any positive contributions contributed by the British in India. Discuss it. What were the positive contribution made by the British rule in India? There's all points you can write from here. There's a total 5 points. There's all 5 points you can write from. Okay, and submit your assignment by the mail. I will write mail. I will send a mail in a group. By that mail, you can easily send your all type of assignment. Now, first we complete the chapter number 1 assignment and submit it. I hope you all have got it, done the answers, and revise your topics. If you have any doubt, any query, personally message me. I will solve your doubts and queries. Thank you. Be happy. Be safe at your home.